Usually I find myself standing between the presentation and lunch. So this is it's a nice way to start the day. So it's over breakfast. So I'm sure everybody is up and awake and totally attentive. So I look forward to some great questions at the end of the session. So in terms of what I'm going to be covering today is sort of try and cut through the clutter in this whole the cloud environment that we've been talking about and we've been reading about a lot in terms of what's happening out there in the industry, what's happening in the market, what's on offer, and most importantly, as end users and customers, the majority of the audience here, how do I actually go about and choose the right cloud offering, right? I think that's the key question that's on everyone's mind. What's in it there? What's in the whole cloud stack, and how should I go about adopting cloud? So first, let's take a look at the market. Based upon certain analyst reports, Gartner is one of them, they have sized the global market in 2010 at about $68 billion, right? And that market is projected to grow to over $121 billion globally across all cloud services by 2015, right? So yes, these are projections. These are not numbers that have been audited and revenued and invoiced. But at the end of the day, the entire global market is very bullish about cloud. There's no two ways about that fact. Now, why is that happening? Typically, if you look at enterprises, what's been happening is when they have been adopting cloud services, there's been significant amount of savings, both in terms of CapEx and OpEx, right? The ability, outside of savings of funding, the ability to be able to consolidate resources during the economic downtimes or slowdown is again another key driver that's been driving this adoption rate. The ability to actually get out of the technology upgrade cycle, right? Loading patches, loading upgrades, loading updates, right? Version changes, being able to take all of that out and hand it over to a data center or a service provider such as Tata Communications, who manages that seamlessly and smoothly, has also helped customers be able to then focus more on their core business areas rather than manage the technology lifecycle and upgrades. It also provides a great platform to be able to innovate, right? We'll talk about experimentation, innovation, to be able to launch new services without actually getting into too much into the technology backend, right? So you can focus on the business at hand rather than try to manage the infrastructure. So what it also does, if we look at in terms of savings, is allow the companies to be able to take their data centers and outsource them, move them out, right? So you are able to save on the real estate, you're able to save on the power, cooling, the space, redeploy all that space for other office or requirements that you may have. The IT folks who are rolling up their sleeves and managing those systems, they can now be actually repurposed for more strategic functions, right? So it allows us even to use the manpower and resource pool and elevate them away from doing the routine, mundane tasks. And then, of course, the reduction in the premises, energy costs will also help in savings as well as promote green and carbon credits in certain countries where it applies. Now, is it something that's so simple and easy in terms of being able to adopt it, or are there certain areas that we should look out for, right? So what are some of the pitfalls, right? What are some of the areas as a customer, as a user, that we should be careful about when we are adopting cloud services? We should be very clear about what we are buying and why we are buying, right? So in terms of, are we buying too much? Are we buying too less of the service? If we buy too much, obviously we end up spending more. If we buy too less, then there could be capacity constraints.